The previous model, you have been introduced to three modes that you can choose to create mobile application and website design, which are design mode, prototype mode, and share mode. In this video, we learn how to create basic prototype interaction using the prototype. This module will allow user interface designers to prototype the design and then pass it to developers to develop the application. Prototype is a presentation of an interactive design to test with users and stakeholders. The typing is very important in the testing phase of a project to show errors that need improvement before launch. Let's start prototyping based on the interface that we have done in the previous lesson. Make sure you are in prototype mode, click at it, and in this mode, I've included the artboard, is page, session, and also the camelback. The design has been done in design mode previously, and kindly take note, once you're doing your interaction prototype, whatever design changes that you at the very last minute, make sure to go back at the design mode to any changes on design such as button, text, this, or layout as in overall for your interfaces. When it comes to prototype mode, this is the mode that you started to create an interaction between each of the artboard that you have created for your mobile interface. Now, in prototype mode, I'm going to start with the home page and going to connect it with the collection. So if you click at the home page, highlight in a blue color and followed by the blue arrow on your right corner. If you click at it, there's a connected line that indicates that you can actually drag it and connect with the next. You can either connect it manually, as in just move the collection interface here and release your mouse, or do Ctrl Z. You can also go to your panel, right? Under the interaction, there's a function for trigger here. Trigger refers to kind of action that you would like to set for the user. In this drop-down arrow here, the options comes in tap, drag, time, keypad, keys and gamepad, and also. So for this tutorial, we're just going to remain with the tap, which means once the user click at the start shopping button, it will link them to this collection page. So set to tap. For the action type, click at the drop-down below here. There's a few more options other than transition, which is auto animate, hyperlink, delay, previous artboard, playback, and also speech playback. I'm going to cover the remaining action in the next lesson. So right now, for the time being, just choose the transition, which means once a user click at the start shopping in this home page interface, it will transition to this collection page. And for the destination, since this is a collection artboard, make sure to choose the collection, and automatically the arrow will connect to this collection page. Now let's proceed with the collection artboard. So inside this collection interface, I've included 7 different sofa collection, and on the next artboard, which is a camelback, this is a description for one of the collection. The name is camelback. So let's search for the camelback collection, which is this one. In this collection page, previously we have created it using the repeat grid. If you just click at one time for camelback, it will select the repeat grid elements that you have previously. So in order for you to just make one selection for CamelBak only, make sure to double click it and it will automatically, the arrow will appear beside the CamelBak on your right corner. Then can repeat the same step as in set the interaction on your corner in Projector, or you can also just click at arrow right, click it once and just drag it to CamelBak interface. Now we have created two interaction from page to collection and from collection of CamelBak to CamelBak product description. So let's try to test the interaction that we have done so far. So before you test your interaction, make sure to click at the home page first. Just click at it on the top here, highlight in the outline, and click at the top right corner here is desktop preview. Once you click at it, this small window will appear, which indicate a sample prototyping for the session that you have to do on. So once I click at Start Shopping, it will link me to collection page, and I can. And once I click at CamelBak collection, it will link me to CamelBak description. Now I haven't done the remaining operations such as the next button, and also I haven't needed the user to add quantity for the product as well as for the other button. So let's try to back and make an interaction for the back button. Just close the type. Now make sure you are still in the prototype, but let's say once you testing your prototype and you found out the button need an amendment in terms of the color, factory size, and so on, make sure to go back to design. So whatever changes, do it in design mode. And when it comes to prototype mode, this is the mode you set for interaction. Now let's create an interaction for our back button. Start with this collection interface first. Click at it and just drag. So once user click at this back button, it will link them to the home page. Just drag it to the button. Same goes with this back button in the CamelBak interface. Once a user click at this, we link them to the previous collection page, and there you go. Now let's try to test. Before we test a prototype interaction, kindly take note that on your panel right corner here, the trigger and the type remains the same setting that we have chosen earlier. DVXT understand your previous setting and hence it remains the same thing. But for the destination, you have to make the adjustment accordingly, because right now it might seem easy because tree interface, but what if we are creating 100 over interfaces for the mobile app? So it's going to be very confusing, and you're going to have a lot of destination under this destination session. So destination, make sure to choose accordingly. And as for type and trigger, this one depends on the requirement needed for the apps client wants from you, and which one goes with the nature of your. Now click at the home page, test your interaction for your prototype, and then click at this button, desktop preview. So let's start shopping. It will bring you to this collection page. You can scroll down to the bottom and you click at the CamelBak. It will bring you CamelBak product description, and you can scroll on. So if you would like to add to cart, you can do so, but make sure you have created another interface to make sure you can link with the other page. Now let's try to test the back button. If I click at it, it will brings me back to the collection page. And if I click at this another back button, it will bring me to the home. In the next lesson, you will learn about Auto Animate and how it can create dynamic effect for your user interface.